This is the iSolution Advertising Eblaster, and the process that we're going to cover at the moment is adding email groups. So as you come into and log into iSolutions Advertising Eblaster, you see this page. Your next step is to click Email Groups, and you can either hand enter email to add to existing groups. Just put in the name and the email address. And once it's created, you can create a new group. If there is existing groups, you can select them from the drop down. So we're just going to call this a test group, and we're going to save that name and email. It will now appear under none, and the reason for that is that you need to assign it to a type here. So you just click on the drop down, and in this case it's going to be an end user file, because that's the objective right now, to create end user email, and that's displayed under end user. And here's our test. If you want to see the email, here we are. It was just registered. If you want to block that person, you can block it, or you can download the information. So now that we know how to hand enter, we can also load an email file. And loading an email file is very simple. First you click on load email file, and the next thing you do is you check your file. So here we have a Excel spreadsheet, and in the spreadsheet you put in your name, first and last name in column A, and the email address in column B. You then save this file as a tab delimited. So you click Save As, and we're just going to call it email load test, and it's saved automatically in an Excel workbook, but to load to the web it needs to be tab delimited. So you just select that off the drop down, and then you save it. Let's see here. So this appears to be saving automatically into libraries documents. So we're just going to allow that. And then you click through OK. Does this file type not support workbooks, etc.? You just say OK, and yes, that saves the file. Then you go back to your email or your iSolutions Advertising Eblaster. You choose the file. It's in libraries, documents, my documents, email load test. Double click on it. It places the path in choose file. Item A, that's completed. Item B, you then select tab delimited, and we've already got a group test that we created earlier by hand. This one we're going to add to that test group, or we could create a new group here by just typing in the name. You select do not share, and then you save, and it tells you that the load results. There was 1 valid, 0 invalid, 0 blocked, and 0 duplicates. So it tells you, what was done. And at that point you can then click on end user, and you will find that it's a duplicate, so it was not installed into the file, because we used Phil Rivard, Phil Quadicius Global on both settings. So that's how you create an email group. It's very simple. Quick review: you can enter by hand, or you can load an email file. If you're going to do it by hand, that's very straightforward. If you're going to load an email file, you go to Excel, you put in the name first and last for column A, and the email address in column B. You save it, file, save as a tab delimited file anywhere on your computer. Remember where you put it. And then you go to your email program, you click load file, you choose the file, you double click on the file name, it puts it in, you select tab delimited. You can add it to an existing group or you can create a new group. We'll call this one test 2 and save it. Again, it goes into a group called none, and here we are, test 2, and we can say that test 2 is again an end user. Now you have two groups, test with the view 1. The first spreadsheet was loaded onto test and the duplicate was automatically removed, so only one email address is in that file. The second time that we went through, we set up a group called test2 and loaded the same email, and it went into none, and we changed it to end user, and now we have two groups with end user. If you want to remove a group, all you do is you click delete and then yes, it deletes the email group itself. If you want to move a group, you can say that it's a distributor, for example, and now that group is automatically in the distributor file. Here it is, test, and there we are. So I'm just going to delete that group, and that's it. That's how you load email by hand entering and by loading a file.